Welcome to Smart Remarks, where if you can't take the heat, better get off the planet. So in what's become a steady drumbeat of bad environmental news, Reuters reported this past week about how a huge spike in ocean temperatures near Indonesia has resulted in a massive coral die-off with up to 80% of some species dying. This is going to have a big impact on communities that rely on the reef for their food and for tourism. Why is this happening? Take a wild freaking guess. All summer long, it's been one climate catastrophe after another. The huge floods in Pakistan have killed 1,500 people and displaced millions. Russia's suffering through its hottest summer in a century. It's led to unprecedented wildfires. Here in the United States, we're suffering through one heat wave after another, and I've noticed something. All those right-wingers who used to email me last winter every time it snowed and said, "See, global warming's a hoax," I don't hear from them so much anymore. Now, I'm sure they still think it's a hoax, I'm sure they still think that the globe can't possibly be getting any warmer, or if it is, that mankind can't possibly have anything to do with it. I mean, their leaders, people like Sarah Palin, tell them that it's all, quote, snake oil. But back here on planet Earth, all of this fits the pattern. You can't point to any one event, any one flood, or any one fire and say, "See, this is proof of global warming." But what you can do is say that in an atmosphere made warmer by trapped carbon dioxide, extreme weather is going to become more intense and more frequent. And indeed, Munich Re, the world's largest reinsurer, told Reuters a few weeks back that it keeps a natural catastrophe database, and, quote, "The number of extreme weather events like windstorms and floods has tripled since 1980, and the trend is expected to persist." Now, if right-wingers were honest with themselves, they'd look at things like this and they'd have to conclude that, maybe the frequency and intensity of these events is increasing. But if they do that, they might have to concede that the climate is indeed changing. And if they concede that, then logic would require them to ask honestly whether human activity has anything to do with it. But see, to even entertain that idea is to tread dangerously close to socialism, because if human activity has anything to do with it, then there might have to be limits on human activity, and that means government tyranny and costs of all sorts and big government and outrage! And so right-wingers cannot even consider the possibility that global warming is real and that we have something to do with it. Because of this, our society is stuck in neutral. All we can do is sit and watch as the climate change accelerates. But I suppose if you're a right-winger, that's a good thing, because after all, who are you going to believe? Sarah Palin or your lying eyes?
Oh, yes, I see all the thing about the global warming. It's on the news and on the television screens and the YouTubes. And the global warming here and there. Oh, when I told them. It is what I say. I don't believe in global warming. Come and sing it now. I don't believe in global warming. Come and sing with me. Ooh.